Hey, what's going on, man? Coach Tyler here from Black Diamond Softball and Fitness. Got a brand new episode of the Foul Pole to Foul Pole Daily Show for you. Today is Friday, February 9th. And, man, we are into the thick of things with the NCAA Division I season. A lot of big games yesterday, a lot of big matchups yesterday. Nothing bigger than Charlotte with the big-time upset over Florida State. It was a great game if you were able to stay up and check that one out. That game goes into extra innings yesterday, which, I don't know how many people had Charlotte staying with Florida State. Charlotte's one of those teams that's kind of been on the come over the last couple of years, but not really been able to get over that hump. It is early in the season, and they did take on Florida State. They didn't let Florida State come and just steamroll them. They stayed with them. Great game, went into extras, a 10-inning affair. Charlotte comes out on top 6-5. Charlotte got things going early on in the game as Chancey tripled to right field and drove in Hoffler. Florida State came back in the bottom of the second inning, had a couple of runs there, got three. Beecham singled, was able to advance to second on the throw, drove in Ross, and then Kerr doubled to left, driving in 2 runs. And that kind of was like the tone that was set. Florida State kind of settled in. Both teams played well defensively. No errors on the day. Both teams were able to come away with 2 runs in their 5th innings. Charlotte was able to tie it up after getting a run in the 6th and the 7th, forcing it into extra innings. Neither team was able to get anything going in the 8th or the 9th, but in the 10th inning, you had Knight single to right field, which scored Dirks and gave them the lead going into the bottom of the 10th. Florida State wasn't able to plate a run, so Charlotte comes away with the win 6-5. Charlotte had 12 hits on the day. Florida State had 11. Again, neither team had an error. It was just a great game all around. Probably the best game of the day. There were some blowouts yesterday that I guess some people you could see coming. Early in the season, you'll have some lopsided matchups, and some of these mid-major teams or some of these lower-end Division I level teams play some of the bigger teams to kind of get going on the season. It's like in football. You'll see it. One of these, powerhouse teams ends up playing someone that's not quite yet on their level, and they'll blow them out. But there was some good games all around yesterday. We had Oklahoma get their first 2 wins of the season. They started the day off against Utah Valley. They beat them in 5 innings, 13-0, which, that game probably doesn't stand out to many people, but what's incredible is Pickering hits her very first home run, which is a grand slam, in her very first at bat in the bottom of the first inning. So really, really cool experience for her. She drives in a grand slam and has an incredible day at the plate. Really, 5 RBIs on the day. She had a hit. She scored a run herself. So grand slam. I mean, I guess you can't have a better first at bat than to hit a grand slam for your team. So really cool stuff there. Oklahoma later in the day ended up playing Duke, and Duke is the number 8 team in the country coming in. Oklahoma was able to hand them their first loss of the season. So you got Oklahoma winning 3-0. Oklahoma was able to get 3 runs in the 3rd inning. Tiara Jennings hit a home run. Then you had Torres single to right and drove in Brito. And then Pickering single to 3rd and advanced on a throwing error. And there was some craziness in that play, and Brito scored. So Oklahoma had 8 hits on the day. Duke was able to come away with 3. Really nothing churning for Duke in that game. Couldn't really get anything going. And Oklahoma will overwhelm you. Defensively, they are probably one of the top teams in the country. They've been that way for the last few years. Some other big names in the top 10. We had Tennessee and UT Arlington. Tennessee gets the job done. They win 15-0. Another 5-inning game. It was pretty much out of reach after the 2nd inning. Tennessee jumps out in front in the 1st inning, 1-0. They get 5 in the 2nd, and then they cruise to the 15-0 victory. A couple of big moments on the day. Kiki Malloy had a double. Nugent in her first at bat for Tennessee also had a double. So Malloy goes 2 for 3 on the day. West goes 2 for 2 on the day. A lot of substitutions, a lot of moving around, a lot of players getting some action there for Tennessee as Nugent goes 2 for 2. Had 4 RBIs on the day, which is really good. At the end of the day, Peyton Gotcho was able to get her first victory. She gave up 2 hits, struck out 7. She pitched 4 innings, and she only had 66 pitches thrown. So my good buddy Peyton Gotcho gets her first win as the ace for Tennessee. Faced 14 batters, had 3 flyouts and 2 groundouts with 7 strikeouts. So great day for her, great showing for her. Looking forward to seeing what Tennessee can do this year. I know Tennessee was there last year, had a chance, and I think this year they got a better squad all around, so I'm looking forward to them. Also, in top 10 action, Clemson beats Missouri State. Clemson's got a couple of big matchups coming up here pretty soon. They're going to be playing Indiana. They got Liberty, and then they've got Oregon coming up. So their Clearwater schedule is pretty tough. I mean, they're not just going to walk through it. So looking forward to Clemson, see what they can do this year as well. I know ACC, looking at it on the outside looking in, if you will, you got Duke, you got Clemson, and you got Florida State. Virginia Tech is kind of always there. NC State's sort of reloaded, made some changes, got a brand new coaching staff in there. So a lot of things can happen there. Probably the biggest, most lopsided game of the day was Louisiana absolutely boat racing Chattanooga. It was one of those games that just kind of got away from them early on. You guys know I'm a big time Tennessee Chattanooga fan, big fan of Scotty Kilgore, a good buddy of mine. We actually had him on the podcast. Louisiana just jumps out on them early. In the bottom of the first, I was able to score 8 runs, and then from there, it was just a snowball effect. One thing that stands out to me in that game is Louisiana only had 13 hits, but was able to come away with 21 runs. Some of the highlights in that game from Louisiana, you had Maya Davis, who you guys remember is the athlete that slammed into the wall last year head first, making a diving catch. Probably one of the best catches of all time in college softball. She back in center field, hitting lead off. She went 2 for 3. She scored 4 runs, had an RBI, a walk, and she struck out once. You had Sophie Piscos, who went 3 for 4. And then you had Victoria Valdez also went 3 for 4. So big RBI day for some girls. Piscos had 4 RBIs. Valdez had 4 RBIs, and Sam Rowe 3 RBIs. Maddie Hayden had 4 RBIs. So a lot of RBIs on the day. Of those 21 runs that were scored, 18 come by RBI. So that's a big day for Louisiana. I'm thinking we're going to see some different things this year from Louisiana. Last year they were able to compete as a mid-major against some of these powerhouse type teams. One top 25 matchup that I think everybody was kind of looking at was the Washington versus Nebraska. I don't think that game went as many people thought. It wouldn't surprise you to know that Washington is right back in the thick of things with a huge statement win. You had Jordy Ball making her debut for Nebraska, her home state of Nebraska. She went on the play as far as pitching goes. She gave up 2 hits, 3 runs. Those 3 runs were earned. Had 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. Had 3 wild pitches, and she faced 14 batters. So not the start that she wanted, but again, it's early in the season. Washington is a solid team, so I'm sure they will right the ship. At the plate for Jordy, she had 1 plate appearance on the day and 1 walk. So looking forward to seeing her kind of bounce back and see what they can do this year. Again, number 7, Washington beats number 17, Nebraska, with a final score of 8-0 in 5 innings. The other top 25 matchup on the day, it was San Diego State and Stanford. Everybody's kind of seeing, what Stanford can do. Najee Canaday is going to be your ace again for Stanford this year. An incredible year last year as a freshman. Coming into her sophomore campaign, what were we going to get from her? And here she goes out there, throws a 1-hitter against a absolute stacked San Diego State lineup. Najee gave up. She pitched all 7 innings, only gave up 1 run. or only gave up 1 hit. I'm sorry. No runs, nothing earned, 1 walk, 15 strikeouts. She faced 22 batters in total and just had an incredible day. At just 15 strikeouts in your first game of the year, which is awesome. So not a whole lot going on in this game until the 6th inning, in the top of the 6th, when Kaneshiro was able to single through the left side and was able to score Kern, and then Koch came up and homered to center, driving in Kaneshiro as well. So able to get a 3-0 win over San Diego State. So Stanford is Stanford. They're going to get the most out of what they've got, and they're going to ride Canada all year long. So big time plays. This weekend I'm anticipating some big time games, just like yesterday. I'm excited for it. We'll be breaking down as much of this as we can over on the YouTube channel. We're going to pick a game of the week and sort of break that down. We might even do 2. It just depends on kind of how I'm feeling, what we got going on. If you're looking for UCLA, their stuff has been postponed just a little bit. California's gotten a lot of rain and snow. So pray for the state. There's a lot of our buddies in Southern California are dealing with just really bad weather. It's almost like a historic storm with as far as the amount of rainfall that has fallen over the last little bit. So pray for them. UCLA will be getting on the field. They'll be playing Cal State Fullerton today. So looking forward to that. If you guys got some big-time matchups you want me to take a look at, break down for you, whatever, let me know. Shoot that over to me in a message. Hit me on Twitter. You can hit me up on Facebook. If you jump over there on the YouTube side, leave me a comment. Make sure you're subscribed over there so you don't miss any of our videos that we pop out. We're going to continue doing what we do over there. So I guess today what we'll do is we'll break down some of the games and we'll get those out as fast as we can. There's a lot of stuff going on here this weekend, so I'm going to do the best I can. And I look forward to, breaking down some of these games for you. If you know someone that likes this type of stuff, they don't know about a softball podcast, man, hit them up. Let them know, hey, you got to check out Foul Pole to Foul Pole. If you share it with a friend, please make sure you tell them you love them.